good afternoon, everyone. It's 1 o'clock. I don't know what you're doing here, but you should be having lunch. I'll try in the next 10-15 minutes to share with you what we're doing at Nets to help add more value to our merchants. Right? Nets, for those of you who are not very familiar, we are the local debit scheme in Singapore. In addition to being the local debit scheme, we have the privilege of acquiring for the debit scheme. Our issuers, we have 3 local banks, 3 foreign banks, who are able to use, their consumers are able to use the Nets scheme, and we provide the merchants to the Nets scheme. So we're the acquirer plus the scheme for debit in Singapore. And we've been doing this, next year will be 40 years. And as you know, in payments, especially in the last few years, with the changes with COVID, with the increase in technology, it's been very competitive. And we have to find new ways, because we really don't have the right to be here. We really have to find new ways to add value to our merchants, to show that by accepting Nets as a payment option, it is still and continues to be relevant and hopefully even dominant for their business. So as a starting point, I think it's very important to know factually what exactly do our merchants want. From research that we have done, or research that we've looked up, the Singapore Business Federation survey in 2022 and 2023, as you can see, growing revenue for merchants, of course, is very important. What I've been grown up in this space to understand is merchants do need more customers, do need existing customers to provide more transactions. So growing revenue is top in their minds. Of course, reducing costs, and payments cost is something that they hope that is really kept at a minimal, right? They want transactions to take place, they're really focused on selling their goods. So increasing revenue, reducing costs, and of course, for smaller merchants, cash flow is a very important part of their business. Looking at another survey that McKinsey helped us with in terms of what merchants are telling us in terms of speed to market and what they want. Pricing and costs remains something that is high in terms of importance to the merchant. If they can get pricing at the right cost, wide payments acceptance, this is very key in our understanding. For most merchants out there, payments is potentially the least important thing. Most important is to sell their goods, to get revenue, to reduce their costs. So if we can be the payment provider for almost every payment option to the merchant, that would then reduce the complexity of payments, reduce the need to understand on payments, and really allow them to focus on selling their goods and service. So with this understanding of revenue being top of mind for our merchants, reducing costs being very important, and having done this for a few decades, how do we continue to add value to our merchants? With the use of technology, with the use of data, with the increased understanding, especially after COVID, with cross-border, how can we add value to our merchants? 2 themes here in terms of adding value. One, how can we potentially bring them more business? It is not easy to prove that a payment company can bring more customers, more business to a merchant. But with one initiative that we have done, we can really look a merchant in the eye to say that if you do this, we can really help you bring more customers to you. Second is the convenience of a one-stop shop. I talk about payments being not important to merchants, but it is still there and they still have to do it. So how can we make it easy for them by providing a one-stop shop solution to our merchants? Focus on these 2 themes of value adding. Let me go down into more revenue, more business for merchants. These are 4 things that we have done. Inbound customers, data insights, different form factors, bringing them more customers. Sorry, 3 things that will bring them more customers. Overseas. During COVID, the Nets team worked extremely hard understanding that one day the borders will open again. And with the borders opening, we now are really privileged to be able to tell our merchants in Singapore that if you accept the NETS QR, you can now accept payments from a Malaysian resident, a Thai resident, a China resident, an India resident, an Indonesian resident. With these bilaterals that we have created, many of these nationalities also stay here on our city-state island, still have bank accounts in their home country, and still can use the bank apps now to scan our QR for payments. In addition, tourists that come in, business travelers that come in, can now scan our QRs, whether they are static QRs, where you go to our hawker centers, which is one of our national heritage in Singapore, you can use the QRs for payment. Right? So residents from these countries, whether they are living here or whether they are visiting Singapore, can now pay with their bank app, their FinTech app, on NETS QR, and we can now confidently tell our merchants that if you take us, you can not only get Singapore customers, you can also get inbound customers from these corridors. And that we are very confident because we have seen the increase, the pickup, the number of merchants today that see at least one cross-border transaction across our merchant base has increased significantly, giving us the confidence to say that, please let us help you increase your customer base. Let us help you make it easier for your foreign customers to want to pay with their local bank app, their local payment app at your stall. And this is not just the larger merchants. This also includes our hawker merchants, what we call our heartland merchants, the longer tail merchants, who are also seeing a lot of cross-border transactions. Different form factors has really helped improve the network effect to reduce cash in circulation. We started as a PIN-based product. You put the NETS card into the terminal, you got to put in your PIN for the transaction to be approved, authenticated, and approved. Today, we can tap, we can scan a QR, and we can click. Click is really for online. It's very similar to a card on file transaction that you're probably familiar with the international card schemes. So with increased form factors, we have really increased the network effect for customers to then prefer to use us as a payment option than cash, especially at the smaller merchants. Data. We really have the privilege in Singapore to help our merchants understand who their customers are. With all due respect to face-to-face merchants relative to online merchants, face-to-face merchants tend not to know who their buyers are, as well as online merchants. Online merchants require you and I to fill up data, information, before we can transact with them. Not all the time, but some of the time. But for offline merchants, face-to-face merchants, we walk in, we walk out, the merchant has very little understanding who their buyers are. But with the data that we have, because of the share we have across the whole island of Singapore, we are not able to tell Lawrence Chan is how old, lives where in Singapore, but we are able to tell how many similar Lawrence Chans are there. How many customers own a car? How many customers, not because I pay my petrol with NETS, because even though I work for NETS, I'll pay my petrol with a credit card, because in Singapore, you pay with a credit card, you get a discount. But when I service my car, when I change my tire, most of the time I'll have to pay by NETS. And therefore, I know from a profile standpoint how many customer profiles own a car, how many customer profiles are tertiary students because they live in the university, the polytechnic, they eat there, and then they go out and they spend outside as well. We can tell a merchant that if you're targeting a certain profile, for example, tertiary students, relative to your competitive set, you're actually very strong or very weak. And with this, we can help them understand what type of customer profile they want, or what type of customer profile they aspire to have. Second, we can help them even determine the next location. With the data that we have, we are able to tell them, Mr. Merchant or Lawrence Shoe Shop, before the next customer did a transaction at your store, they were actually 70% or X% of your customers actually did a transaction in this mall. If you want to change location or open another location, you may want to consider opening your next location in that mall because most of the transactions before they took place at you actually took place in that mall. So we can help merchants understand potentially where to set up the next location. And last but not least, another use case for our data is we can help our merchants cross-sell to each other. We did once with, and we're doing another, as I speak, where bubble tea traditionally attracts the millennium, the younger segment of customers. Department stores traditionally attract the older type of customers. We did a marketing program with both because we were able to tell that the department store customers were of an older generation given their spend profile relative to the bubble tea. So whenever they went to a bubble tea store, they had a discount if they wanted to go to then shop at the department store and vice versa. So the bubble tea was then able to attract older generation of crowd from the department store, and the department store was then able to attract a younger generation of crowd from the bubble tea store. So with data, we really can help merchants understand their business, understand their customers better. So with wide acceptance, with providing a one-stop shop with wide acceptance is what we also want to do, and providing them with merchant solutions. Wide acceptance is, today we really have the privilege of not just being the acquirer for Nets. As I mentioned, we are the scheme. Nets is the scheme, and also the acquirer for our own scheme. Today, we have the privilege of being an acquirer for Nets and acquirer for even what we can call our competitive schemes. Whether for domestic transactions or cross-border transactions inbound into Singapore, we can provide the same merchant, Lawrence Shoe Shop, the ability to take Nets and almost any other payment scheme, thus reducing the complexity and being that one-stop shop to that merchant. As shown by the research, that's actually what merchants really want. I would now like to show a very quick video in terms of the different solutions that we have also shared with our merchants.
In today's fast-paced business world, having the right tools makes all the difference. Introducing Net Soft POS, an innovative solution that turns your smart device into a compact and powerful POS terminal, allowing you to accept contactless card and QR payments with no extra hardware, saving space and making your business more efficient. For businesses needing more, our Net integrated POS solution is designed to streamline your entire business operation, whether you're running an F&B outlet, retail store, or beauty salon. With one powerful device, you can customize your digital menu, schedule appointments, manage service packages and loyalty programs, track inventory, and handle commissions all in one place. Need online solutions? Net's QR integrates into mobile applications, as well as websites and self-service kiosks, making transactions effortless. For greater convenience, NetClick allows customers to save their cards in-app, enabling secure one-click payments for faster repeat transactions. Beyond payments, we also offer other solutions like digital receipts management and data insights to help your business grow. With Net's Merchant Solutions, we are empowering merchants to take their business forward and serve their customers better. Discover more about our range of solutions today.
Thank you. My time is up. I have to wrap up. So this slide actually just summarizes what the video has shown. We now provide more than payments to our merchants. We provide them with solutions that are pain points for them, which our terminal can help improve their efficiency and reduce their costs. So POS, this is not solution for all sizes of merchant. The larger merchants will not want a soft POS. The smallest merchant will probably prefer a QR, but the segment in between would probably want to offer a soft POS so that the merchant can offer customers more payment options. So in wrapping up, the two things that we try to add value to our merchants is to bring them more customers and providing them the convenience of a one-stop shop so that payments, although so important, doesn't become a hassle for them. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Thank you.